Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video. Today we are going to do our picks for week 17, other than the Christmas games, of the NFL season. Last week, we ended up going 13-3, and when we already had a special Christmas in this picks video just a few days ago, and within those, I went 2-1 so far. So, not too bad. Obviously, the Lions is going to be a tough one, but let's go ahead and get into the other picks of week 17 here, starting with the Houston Texans going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. The Texans, they had a close one with the Raiders this past week, only winning 23-21. They kind of let the Raiders actually play well on offense, which is a bit troubling. I do see how it could be like one of those like play down to competition games before another big game of the Chargers, but they didn't play all too well last week. The Chargers, meanwhile, did play well against the Dallas Cowboys, winning 34-17. The defense just did not let the Cowboys do anything. The offense was able to get moving. And for this game, I would say this past week was a little bit eye-opening for the Texans on if they are truly like one of those hottest teams, at least if they will be in the upcoming weeks. And this is going to be a pretty tough defensive battle. I'm not expecting this in this game to be very high scoring at all. However, I do trust the offense of the Chargers just a little bit more to where I am going to go ahead and pick the Chargers to win this game. I think the Texans will play better than last week, but I don't see the offense being that much better to go up against the Chargers offense and Chargers defense. So I am going to go ahead and go with the Chargers here. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Green Bay Packers. And you know what? Let me go ahead and see something. Jordan Love concussion. Because if he is... Jordan Love will miss Saturday's game versus Ravens. How about Malik Willis? Is he... Malik Willis to start versus Ravens. Okay, so it will be Malik Willis, and I know before I have seen that I have seen before how Tyler Huntley is going to start for the Ravens. Now, so that's the whole QB side of things. There's a bunch of injuries on the QB side. And okay, let's get into how each team did last week. I kind of went into that first a little bit. The Ravens, they ended up losing to the Patriots 28-24, and Tyler Huntley did not play bad at all during that game. I wanted to say that clear. Both backups did not play all too bad. And the Ravens lost 28-24 against the Patriots, and the Packers lost to the Bears 22-16. So both backups didn't play all too bad. Now, Malik Willis did get banged up a little bit in that game, and I think that will hamper his ability a little bit. Plus, add in the fact that Josh Jacobs has been injured a little bit throughout the week as well. I'm actually going to go with the Ravens here. I think they are a little bit healthier. I think they will be able to lean on the rushing game more than what the Packers will in this game, with Josh Jacobs being a little bit out. So, I think I'm going to go with the upset here with the Ravens. And if Jordan Love was playing, I probably would have seen a little bit more of the side of picking the Packers. But as I went on, before I even said anything more about this game, I looked up Jordan Love being out for the game. There's not really much else he can do there. I am going to go with the Ravens, though, to get the upset, as I believe their rushing game will carry them to the win. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cardinals, yeah, they lost another one, losing to the Falcons 26-19, and yeah, the Cardinals has just been a train wreck right now, as they have not really been all that great of a team. The Bengals, though, they got a big win against the Dolphins, 45-21, and I'm, you know what, it's not super big in terms of like playoff caliber because both those teams are not making the playoffs at all, but it was a very good win for the Bengals. And honestly, I think the Bengals is just going to keep on rolling. The Cardinals is not a good team, as the thing is, I had the Cardinals in the wild card preseason. Well, after the Week 18 games, I'll look through, maybe during the between wild card and divisional round week, because I have a little bit less things to do then. But yeah, I feel like looking back at the preseason, but yeah, this team has not done good at all. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the Bengals here. They are just a better team right now, and Joe Burrow will have a day. Next up, we have an interesting one between the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers. The Seahawks, they just won off, I don't know what to say, against the Rams by 1 in overtime. Wow. The Panthers, though, they ended up winning 23-20 against the Buccaneers, in which they absolutely let's just say that the Panthers are a front runner for the NFC South right now. But unless they win and the Bucs lose this game, it's all going to be on that Week 18 matchup. For this game, I could see both teams like not being entirely focused in this game, more focusing on the Week 18 matchup. And this for each team, considering the Seahawks has to look out for the 49ers and the Panthers have to look out for the Buccaneers for their particular playoff spot for the Panthers or the 1 seed for the Seahawks. And so I think this could be a little bit of a sloppy game, but I still think the Seahawks will win this one. And I just trust the Seahawks defense is the most out of any of the 4 units within this game. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Seahawks here. And it might be a little bit of a sloppy game. I'm not expecting it to be super high scoring. But yeah, I think Seahawks will win. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers, they ended up getting a win against the Detroit Lions this past week, winning 29-24. And, hey, you know what? As much as you want to say about that call, I think it was justified. They're going up against the Cleveland Browns, who lost to the Bills 23-20. And I have not been liking the Browns. Like, they have not been all too great throughout the past few weeks. And I think the Steelers is that much better of a team right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Steelers. And they will officially win the division with a win here. And I think they will get that win and solidify their division. And then, yeah, just they might just start this Week 18, but I think at least for this week, they'll get that win. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints going up against the Tennessee Titans. 2 up-and-coming teams. 2 teams that has positive momentum going for them right now. The Saints, they ended up winning against the Jets 29-6 this past week. And the Saints has been on a roll recently. I've liked Tyler Shuck's play. I've liked their defense. And there's a lot to be said about the Saints right now on how they can move up in the standings for next year. The Titans, they beat up the Chiefs 26-9, and the Titans have won 2 or 3 their last 3 themselves. So bounce off to the Titans, because both of these teams just 3 weeks ago was at 3 combined wins. Now they've had 5 wins in the past 3 weeks. So good job to the both of them for up and coming. Now for this game, I do like the Titans offense, the rushing game. And Cam Ward's been playing pretty good as well. However, I do like the Saints defense more than I do the Titans defense right now. So I think that alone puts me onto the Saints. I love how Tony Pollard has been playing. However, I think the Saints defense will at least negate some of that to where I think the Saints actually does win in this game. And I would say this is one that I was a little bit more back and forth on in between the Saints and the Titans. They're both up and coming. They both have a bunch of positive momentum. I've been saying that a lot. But I just think the Saints has a little bit more of that momentum as well. And considering the Saints has won each of their past 3, while the Titans lost one in the midst. Granted, that one was to the 49ers, and the toughest opponent out of any of the 6 opponents. But I do think the Saints ends up finding a way with that defense, and then they just pull it off. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Indianapolis Colts. The Jaguars, they absolutely did it. And they beat the Broncos 34-20. And that was actually a really good game for the Jaguars. And for the Colts, they lost 48-27 against the 49ers. And when I look at this matchup, I kind of have to say that the Jaguars is the better team right now. I think they will sweep the Colts. Trevor Lawrence has been playing pretty well. I think the defense has been doing good for the most part, considering they only allowed the Broncos to 20. They did pretty well the weeks before. I just think the Jaguars is one of the top contenders to go to the Super Bowl of the AFC right now. I truly think so. And I think they will beat the Colts now to get up to there. So I'm going to go ahead and have the Jaguars here. And yeah, I think that this team has a shot to make it. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Miami Dolphins. The Buccaneers has lost a close one to the Panthers this past week, as the Buccaneers continue to be on a pretty tough skid, going 1-6 in their past 7 games since their bye, which is not good at all. The Dolphins, they lost 45-21 against the Bengals, which, you know what? I'm going to say that's not too bad against... Actually, that is kind of bad. But Quinn Ewers and the offense actually didn't play all too bad in that game. It was against the Bengals defense, and they'll probably face a little bit tougher of a defense from the Bucs. But I didn't mind how Quinn Ewers played at all this game. And actually, here's the thing. The Buccaneers has not been playing all too well either. And Baker Mayfield's has played better recently, but still not enough. And the Buccaneers defense isn't really all that great. This is one that I was pretty back and forth with, and I might actually just go with the Dolphins here in an upset. I would not be surprised at all if the Buccaneers does win Quinn Ewers is relatively new to playing in the NFL. It's his rookie season. He's on his second start. But I would not be surprised if the Buccaneers skid continues here. Their only win since their bye has come to the Cardinals. And the Cardinals has been known this season to just lose those close games. And before, it probably did stop once Quinn Ewers was named the starter. But the Dolphins had positive momentum beforehand. And I do trust Devon Achane enough to be able to do stuff on this offense against the Buccaneers defense. I think it might just happen. I would not be surprised if the Buccaneers end up pulling it off, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the Dolphins here. In probably my biggest upset that I've said in a while. Next up, we have the New England Patriots going up against the New York Jets. The Patriots, they ended up getting it done against the Ravens this past week, winning 28-24. The Jets, yeah, they lost a bad one, 29-6. Brady Cook continues to not play all too well. And I think this is going to be my, when some articles say, my lock of the week. I'm going to say the Patriots win against the Jets by... I did not think of a score prediction before even doing this now. I'm just going to say by 18 or whatever like that. I did not think of any score prediction beforehand, so just go with it. But yeah, I think the Patriots is going to absolutely just destroy the Jets. The Jets are not a good team. The Patriots are, as I think the Patriots will continue to try to get the 1 seed. Next up, we have the New York Giants going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. The battle of the potential number 1 pick. As the Giants are 2-13 and the Raiders are 2-13, both of them have lost each week since week 6. One of them about to get a 3rd win now. The Giants, well, both of them has lost. The Giants lost to the Vikings this past week. Not even able to outdo Max Boswell in the second half after J.J. McCarthy got injured. The Raiders, they had a close one with the Texans because the Raiders is actually was able to play well in this past week. And honestly, I think against the Giants that will continue here. I think Ashton Jeanty might actually hit his stride now, and the offense would be able to actually start to click, especially against the Giants defense, to where I think the Giants is actually going to remain in line to get the number 1 seed. The number 1 draft pick, as the Raiders ends up winning this game. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Buffalo Bills. The Eagles, they ended up winning. I don't want to say it's a close one because it did end up getting to 11 points, but it was a close one in the first half against the Commanders. And yeah, that is not really all too great. The Bills, they ended up playing down the competition as well, beating the Browns 23-20. And there is mismatch within this game of Saquon and the Bills' rush defense. I think Saquon will be able to run all over the Bills' rush defense. However, I think the rest of the Philly offense is going to be pretty lackluster. And I think the Bills would just be able to get it done to get a win. Because the Eagles very recently has been on that downhill like they've just fallen off, and you didn't see it in either the past 2 weeks as much because there was the Raiders and the Commanders who are both losing teams. But against the Bills, yeah, I think that falling off is going to continue with the Bills, as I think the Bills will remain to try to win their own division, as the Eagles, at this point, the Eagles are pretty much the 3 seed. Like, what does the Eagles truly have to play right now? They're already locked in to the playoffs. We already know that the Bears is a game ahead and has the tiebreaker over the Eagles for the 2 seed. The Panthers and the Buccaneers has their own inconsistencies going on to where they will likely be the 4 seed. And I'm pretty sure whoever in the NFC West is going to be the 1 seed. So the Eagles is pretty much going to be the 3 seed. I don't think they have all too much to play for right now. And yeah, I think they're just going to, I think the Bills are just going to end up winning this game. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Chicago Bears. The Bears, they ended up getting a really nice win over the Packers 22-16 this past week. And Jade Walker, DJ Moore, the offense just absolutely clicked in those last few moments. The 49ers, their offense clicked the entire game, winning 48-27 against the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I do not love this matchup. And the 49ers has absolutely been doing great recently. And I think this will end up being the Bears' 5th loss of the season, as the 49ers is definitely the toughest opponent of the season. At least they have been in the regular season. And if the 49ers win out, they actually get to the 1 seed, no matter what else happens. So there's a lot on the line for the 49ers as well. So with this tough matchup, I am going to go with the 49ers. And I would not be too shocked at all if the 49ers would blow us out as much. But I just want it to be at least a close game, because I don't have all too much hope for the Bears with winning in this one, considering how we have struggled against the Packers just either of those 2 games. Now, the 49ers defense is a little bit worse to where we can actually get points. But I think we're going to struggle to where the 49ers will win. And finally, we have the Los Angeles Rams going up against the Atlanta Falcons. The Rams, they ended up losing a close one to the Seahawks, 37-38. And the Rams did not play all too bad at all either. I want to preface that. Both those teams actually played well. And I think the 3 best teams in the NFC are those 3 best teams in the NFC West right now. The Bears being a 4. Because against the Rams and the Seahawks, they're both really good teams. And the 49ers are definitely up there as well. They're going up against the Atlanta Falcons, who got a win against the Arizona Cardinals. But now it's the Cardinals. They're facing the Los Angeles Rams now. So yeah, this is going to be... I think this is going to be a little bit more of a blowout. I'm going to say something more towards the lines of like 37-17, whatever score around there. Because the Rams has been absolutely playing well, and the Falcons, I would not be surprised if they just don't against this Rams defense. But yeah, I'm going to have the Rams here. They should be the obvious winner. If the Falcons somehow win, I will not know what to say. And with that, that's going to be it for in this video. If you guys liked it, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.